Ways to win a more favorable lease. Commercial real estate agents are aware that lease agreements seem to favor the landlord, but with some negotiation a better deal can almost always be found. A shorter lease term offers improved flexibility if the needs of the business change. The trade-off is that a longer-term lease offers affordable business space for a pre-specified period of time. Identifying your specific business requirements in regard to the lease term is an important part of this process. Here are some potential strategies that will assist in negotiating a shorter-term lease agreement. Minimize the landlord's investment in fixtures. For example, in a build-to-suit scenario, you can negotiate with the landlord to minimize his upfront investment in fixtures and chattels. In this scenario, the landlord may be more willing to accept a shorter lease term, because the initial construction costs will be lower. Absorb the removal cost of fixtures and chattels. Agreeing to remove the business's fixtures and chattels at the lease termination saves costs for the property owner. By passing the cost savings to the landlord, you should be able to gain the required leverage to negotiate a shorter lease term. Consider paying a rental premium. Landlords often prefer a longer-term commercial lease, because this provides them with a stable long-term income. In order to convince them to accept a shorter-term lease, you may have to accept a higher net rent. By accepting a higher rental rate, you should be able to achieve greater flexibility in the lease term. Negotiate an option to renew. Having the option to renew the lease for an additional specified period of time will offer your business long-term stability at an established rental rate, without actually having a long-term commitment. A renewal option can turn a 1 or 2 year lease term into a 3 to 5 year lease term. This gives the business the opportunity to stay in its existing location, by providing the landlord notification in writing. In many cases, the landlord may require a higher rent, because of the shorter term of the agreement, and the owner may require a renewal fee, in exchange for allowing the business to stay after the initial lease term. Add favorable lease termination language. Although not a frequently used strategy, this can be effective. Adding a clause to a longer-term lease that allows you to terminate the lease agreement early, can result in a long-term lease becoming a short-term lease. Keep in mind that the landlord will require a penalty of some kind for early termination of the lease agreement. Utilizing one or all of these strategies gives your realtor the opportunity to negotiate a shorter-term lease agreement. Each strategy presents unique benefits and pitfalls that need to be carefully considered for your particular scenario. With some careful consideration and some careful consultation with a real estate professional, you should be able to negotiate the best lease terms for your business's needs. Thanks for listening. Find more tips and training on our YouTube channel at bettergrouprealestate.com.